Okay, today I'm going to show you a different way of setting up the office hours on Zoom. And to actually show you what I'm doing, I'm going to introduce it through how the student will schedule the office hours, and then we'll see how I set this up. So on the syllabus, it tells you that the office hours are going to be on Zoom, and it gives you the broad times. Now, the students can, and I'll show you how, just log right into those office hours, but they can also schedule an appointment, and that keeps it so it shows up on their calendar. And it puts in a situation where it can lock them in so they could have some one-on-one time if that's what they want. All right, so to actually do this for the student, what the student's going to do is they're going to click on calendar, and what will come up is the calendar for all their classes, and they're just showing this one class right now. But if they want to use the office hours, they'll click up here where it says find appointment and choose the class, and it's going to show all the scheduled appointment times I have available for that class. Now, I don't have it fully complete right now. The 2 to 3 block on this beginning September, I'm going to show you how I program those in, and then I'll have them in here for the student. But if a student wants to take advantage of office hours, let's say, for instance, they want to go 2 p.m. on that Monday, they actually do just click on that, and it gives you a bunch of stuff on the information. And down here at the bottom, they would just click reserve. And now that spot went kind of gray. And if they go back out of this appointments aspect, it is now flagged on their calendar for them to know that that's when they have their office hours scheduled. And all they need to do when it comes that time, so on the 31st, they'll just click that. And down in this little messenger, you're going to join your Zoom meeting by clicking on the link. Now, I do have this set up so the Zoom meetings go right to a waiting room. So since the goal of this was to make it so the students could have some more one-on-one time if that's what they decide, I have it so they can't just sign in. So if there was somebody in the meeting already, they won't get in until I let them in. All right. To set this up was actually kind of interesting. All right, let me unreserve this, because even though I'm doing this as a test student, if I don't do that, I lose that spot. All right, to set this up for the actual students from the teacher's point of view, I need to go back to the Leave Student View, and on my calendar, you see all those times, and the only ones that are great are the ones that are actually have students logged into. Alright, but to add them, there was just 2 things I had to do to get this to work. The very first thing was to set up a meeting in Zoom. Now, I did have some luck by going into the class and setting up the Zoom meeting through this. But what I found is if I set it up there, that shows up for that class as a Zoom session. It doesn't necessarily show up as just an appointment. So if I want to keep it as just appointments, what I found I needed to do was actually set up the meeting through Zoom itself. So I logged in here to Zoom, and I already created all my office hours, and they go on now until the end of time, it feels like. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is just add to my calendar the 2 to 3 o'clock sections on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, because I don't have them on there right now. Alright, so I have that particular office hour scheduled, and I just need to click on this because I need to get just one thing off this paper. I need to copy this invitation code. So just kind of copy that. Now it's in my clipboard. And now I will go back to my calendar, and up here I'm going to hit this little create new event, and I'm going to create an assignment group. And it pops up this big window, and I'm just going to type in office hours. And I'm going to do this for the first from 2 to 3, and the second from 2 to 3, and the third from 2 to 3, and the fourth. Now, on the Canvas message boards, they did say that they're working on a faster way of inputting this, but right now you have to do each and every single day separately. But to split it into little 20-minute segments, which is what I did on the earlier ones, you can just tell it to split into 20-minute sections and hit go, and it's going to do all of the ones that you entered into 20-minute segments. And I'm actually putting a limit, so only 3 students could sign in. And I'm actually removing that. I don't care how many times they do that. And then I'm going to select all my calendars because I want these office hours available to all my classes. And then here in the details, I'm just going to paste that information that Zoom gave me. But I am going to modify it because technically that shows all these dates, and the students don't necessarily need that on their individual days. So I'm just going to select that bit of text and even the calendar thing and just delete that out. So it has, after my statement that I'm inviting you, it just goes right to the Zoom meeting ID password thing. And there's the ID and the passcode if they need to do it differently, and there's all the phone numbers. I'm leaving all that in there, and I just hit publish. And they are all in there. And now if my students choose to use the office hours by appointments, they can. And so far, only one person's taken advantage of it, but we are only on the 20th. So, and I did actually have to delete some of these because I had them set up wrong. So I did have other students in there, so it's not fair to say only one student got in there. I just had to delete my office hours to make this thing work. But I've gotten decent feedback. The students seem to be okay with it. We'll see how it goes.